Why do they call him Ashley Larry? Well, there's your answer.
Yeah, his time on the Chappelle Show as Ashy Larry is memorable, but he got his start as a heckler turned comedian.
I'm ruthless. When I go in, I'm ruthless. My mother came to one of my shows, and this guy tried to heckle me, and I went on this dude so hard. My mother jumped out of her seat, grabbed me, and said, "Leave him alone, baby. Stop it."
You've seen him multiple places because this guy works hard.
Good day's work. Good day's work.
Giving us an inside look on his life and career.
Oh, I see what's going on up in here.
Comedian and actor Donnell Rawlings on The Pulse.
You got questions, I got answers. It's all good.
We're back to do it again like we do every week, talking about the people who are doing things. They're touring, they're making differences, they're sharing their lives with us. And today's guests are all over TV and the comedy circuit and a podcast, and started off before the recording started already taking shots at me.
I didn't take a shot. I said, "I'm sorry about your Super Bowl loss." That's what I said. I said, "But you got your money this year. You got your bag. And good luck next year." That's what I said. I didn't disrespect you. I just wanted to say it's hard to get to the Super Bowl, and you did it, man.
You hater. Donnell Rawlings.
That's not a hater. That's a congratulator. A lot of people, you know how many kids on the playground in the Little League wish to get to a position where they could quarterback a team and then quarterback a news show? Like, you multitasking, bro.
Now we're going to have to put up on the screen the picture of me and Jalen Hurts with the side-by-side so people can tweet us and see the comparison. Welcome to The Pulse.
Thanks for having me, man.
That's how we're going to start.
Yeah, that's how we're going to start. And Jalen, you look good with a tie, man. I'm used to seeing you with shoulder pads and stuff, but you look good with a tie, man.
I wish I had his check, man. The negotiation that's about to happen.
Yeah, and the choice of color, is that powder blue? That is not gangster, but is it powder blue? I'm just saying, I mess with BMF, and I've never seen anybody from BMF wear powder blue. But go ahead. I mean, not to disrespect your gangster. We know what it is.
All right, so we're jumping right into this. Let's start. I was reading a little bit about your background. I mean, you've been doing this for a minute. How'd you get into comedy? What was your first start?
I never thought about doing stand-up. And when I was in D.C., I was waiting to be a D.C. police officer, and I used to work security for this grocery chain called Safeway. And there's a friend of mine, he used to work for Hostess in the daytime. He was a comedian at night, and he would come to the store, give away free tickets. So myself and a lot of people that I work with, we started going to this open mic, and I became a heckler. I was just destroying, roasting professional comedians of like 4 or 5 years. And people started coming to hear me roast. The owner wanted me to shut up. They dared me to go on stage. And 30 years later, I never looked back.
So you were calling out the comedians on the stage from the audience, and that became your show. Like, people were coming to see you.
I started drawing a crowd, and I was so excited about being a heckler. I went to the club owner and said, "Listen, you see I've increased your business by 30%. Now it's time to talk about a door deal." I was trying to get a door deal. I wasn't an open micer. I wasn't a comedian. But I knew that I had increased the business there, and that's some kind of a funny story. They look back and say, "You're the first person in comedy to try to get a door deal without even performing on stage."
I feel like that's on the comedians who were on stage, because I can't imagine somebody making a career out of trying to insult you from the audience.
I was good. I mean, the pros used to come up to me and be like, "Yo, I'm trying to work on some material. Could you please leave me alone?" Like, they was like intimidated because I used to shut it down. But when I got into it and I started doing it for myself, I kind of felt bad. Because I know how much pressure it is to try to engage your audience and keep them laughing and to be distracted by anything. I mean, I was like, oh, man. But that was my past, and in my future, I was like, if a heckler comes at me, it's going to be two things going to happen. You're going to either offer me a drink or you're going to want to fight. That's the only thing, because I'm ruthless. When I go in, I'm ruthless. I mean, I've seen people at news desks loosen up their ties and decide that they want to wear different colored shirts messing with me, bro. Congratulations on getting to the Super Bowl.
Uh-huh. So that feels like a warning. Like, I need to leave you alone and conduct the interview. That we don't want to go down that path, right?
I know you got it in you, because when I went at you, you said, "Oh, this what we doing?" Like, you rolled your sleeves up too. So I'm not going to disrespect your skills.
Quick story. My father used to work in radio. And the radio station did a comedy routine. They sponsored a comedy routine, and Eddie Murphy was there. And his time was up. And so they were sending people to try to get him off the stage.
Oh, wow. Right.
And you can imagine how that went. He went in on my dad, went in on the crowd, on security.
You got an Eddie Murphy story. Mine is worse. My father used to date this chick, and then they went to New York on a trip, and this was like Eddie Murphy Raw days and everything. And Eddie Murphy stole one of my father's chicks back in the day. So he hated Eddie Murphy.
My first experience, I go back to The Wire, back to the Chappelle Show. You know, when you got into this early on, do you ever think you'd be sitting back talking about a 30-year successful career?
Me, when I first started, you know, a lot of people that come into it, they want to be rich, they want to be famous and everything. And when I first started, my first focus was, I said I wanted to be good. And I realized if I'm good at it, eventually all those other things will start to pay off. But never did I ever think that this would be something that I would be doing for the rest of my life. But the minute I hit the stage, I knew it was what I was going to be doing for the rest of my life. And I never looked back, never gave myself a plan B, never made any excuses. And until this day, I've got a certain level of success, but, you know, I really love the fact that every year I figure out a different way to go to the next level, or how to be funnier, or do something with my show, or even my life, to keep challenging myself and go to the next level. And after 30 years, I still have fun.
You seem like you're having fun, though. So that comes through. When going at people and going back and forth, you just seem like you're enjoying this. So I'd imagine you couldn't work this hard if you didn't still love it.
I know some people work, they work as hard of it, but they not passionate about what it is. You know, some people, they work hard because they built their brand and their name up to a certain point where when you put their name on the marquee, they can make hundreds of thousands of dollars. That doesn't mean that they still passionate about being good. You know, I won't say any names, but there's guys out here that people have been watching for years, won't change their routine, won't do anything different. And I call them guys that just do money grabs. You know what I'm saying? Like, you could be successful in this and not enjoy it. But I can honestly say I still enjoy it.
Coming up next, he's most known as Ashy Larry from The Chappelle Show. So does that bother him?
In this business, it's so hard for people to remember you from anything. So the fact that, you know, you associate me with an iconic character that made television history, you know, I don't get mad at that.